Okay, so I have a bounty of currants here, and also some gooseberries as well. Now, currants are something that I have reviewed before. I've reviewed red currants on their own. I've done red and white currants compared to each other. I've done black currants on their own, and I've done gooseberries on their own. But I have never done all together, and it's been such a long time that since I've reviewed all of these that I think it's time for a currant video. I'm going to start with the red currants. Sourness is like 9 out of 10. It's pretty high. Like a handful of that is too strong. Sweetness is maybe like a 3 out of 10. And the flavor is like, I don't know, mild berry flavor. It's got like a quality that you would find in strawberry or blueberry or what have you, but there's not like a whole lot to it. Currants are very often paired with meat, and I think that does make sense because it would add like a slight fruitiness to something, but it wouldn't end up being like so berry-ish in flavor that it's like going to clash with a savory dish. It's maybe like slightly like a tart grape, I guess, would be like the most similar thing I can relate it to, but not quite. Anyway, let's move on to the white currant. The white currants are a sport, which means that they are the same as the red currants. However, these are a mutation of the red currants. They're the same species, but these will have a different taste because they are lacking that pigment to it. Much milder than a red currant, and less sour. It's got the tartness of like an orange. The sweetness on it is like the sweetness of like an apple. It's also like around 5. So it's pretty well balanced tasting fruit. And the flavor on it is even more mild than the red currant, and in a way that gives it a little bit more complexity, because when I eat this it has like an herbaceousness that the red currant doesn't have. I wouldn't want to like make jam out of it, it's too mild. So this is something I would use fresh, and this is something I would like make stuff with because it's like a little too powerful. Or use this as a souring agent, like throw some berries on your food. This one, it would get lost in a stronger dish. So these are a little bit better like just by hand. Next, what I'm most excited about, these black currants. Black currants, if I recall correctly, they taste quite a lot different than red currants, the ones that I've had. So I'm guessing these also will taste different. They're so big. I'm just going to start with one. Yep. Very different. Tastes like tomatoey. The sourness on it is like pretty low. I'd say it's like a 4 out of 10, maybe a 5 out of 10. It's around an orange, maybe a little bit less. Sweetness is nice. Also like a 4 or a 5. Sweetness and sourness are pretty well balanced. But that flavor, man. The flavor's weird. It's like a black nightshade, which reminds me of tomatoey and like maybe like a hint of licorice to it. But not in a bad way. Like if you don't like black licorice or you don't like tomatoes, you would still like these. They'd have qualities from those things without like being like so distinctively, oh my god, this is like a grape tomato. It's not like that. It's got like a slight savoriness or heartiness that a tomato would have. And it's like a little resiny, like pine needles. That's actually really good. These are my favorite out of the 3 by far, because the flavor is nice, well-rounded. You can eat like a handful, it'd be great. It'd be really good to put on different types of food, or make jam out of, or juice out of, because it does have such a distinctive taste. It's not like just kind of like random berry taste like the red currant is. It has its own character to it that is not really seen in other fruit. And let's close it out with one more. I've got the red gooseberry. Gooseberries, they're very variable. You know, they can be very tart, they can like sneak up on you, they can be very sweet and mellow. Let's see what this one is like. Sourness is like a 5 out of 10. It's around the sourness of an orange. Sweetness is very low. Sweetness on this is like a 2 out of 10. Honestly, it doesn't have a whole lot of flavor to it. The ones I've had in the past were a little bit more powerful, but it tastes kind of like a red currant, but with a little bit more punch to it. A little bit like grape, I guess. But, good. The best thing about these is they have this really satisfying pop when you eat them. It's kind of like a grape, but like with a little bit more texture to it. It crunches a little bit when you eat it. So texture on this is really good. Flavor's pretty good, but nothing really that remarkable to it. Same how like regular red currants are, at least in this case. I've had ones that were like a little bit better, but still good to try. So they're doing some construction now, so I probably should stop talking about berries. This is quite the little gift box I have here. My favorite one, definitely the black currants. These ones are all very good though. It's really interesting to get a chance to try all, well, 4 different rides species side by side. You can see how different they can be. They're all very different from each other, so that's cool to get a chance to try them all. And yeah, I think that's about it. So I'll see you next time. Okay, so I found another currant. This one looks very different. This one I found just like growing in the wild. It was just like on the side of somebody's yard, hanging over the path. So figured it was fair game. And this one is a weird color. It's not red, it's not white. It looks kind of like a cross between the two. But it has also like a little bit of like an orangey color. And they're a little bit too big to be an unripe red currant. So I think this is like some other different kind of variety or species, possibly, if I'm lucky, but at least a different variety, so I'm going to give this a try. I've never had a rose-colored currant before. Maybe it's going to be completely different. Let's give it a try. It's alright, yeah. It's a little bit like white grape, maybe. It's kind of like a little tart, too. Not as sour as the red currant, but it is sour. Maybe 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It's got a slight apple kind of flavor. Yeah, it's alright. I'm still not, I mean, it's a currant, so there's not like a whole lot to say about it. It's not super complex or anything. But it is really tasty and different than the other one. So, you know, it might just be an unripe red one, but I don't think it is. I think it's just like a pinkish orange variety. So, cool. There you go. Hey, before you click out, I want to give a very special thank you to AltPod, Smarter Every Day, and the Harbor Leaf Tea Company. They are mega patrons over on Patreon.com. Patreon.com, if you haven't heard of it, it is how this channel happens. It's how I get all the funding to go on the trips I go on and how I get all the fruit that I try. So if you're interested in supporting my channel, check out the link in the description below. Another thing is that I have t-shirts for sale. Those are also available in the description below as well. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.